What's up, home crew? How's everybody doing today? So, it's been a few weeks since I posted a video, and it's continuing to be an interesting adventure with our collective. It's as a lot of you know, and are share on Facebook and so on, is that the censoring in this last, say, month or two has been pretty incredible. And I've posted things regarding, say, different statements regarding the censoring and so on that's taking place, and the banning and blocking and all kinds of stuff. And there's still a lot of people that that are not, say, aware of what's happening. But the information is available now. It's like there's clearly enough people sharing and are seeing it that the word is really getting out there on the level of censoring. And it's not, a lot of people might view this censoring is tied into some political view or side, and I don't see that in that way at all, even though some people are categorizing it as the censoring is political in one way or another. I sort of view this type of censoring has been happening for a long time. People, groups, that manipulate basically the information's being shared to fit a certain agenda. And this has been going on way back, even during the days where they were manipulating the information that went into the Bible. Changing words, changing statements, leaving out information that basically so it fits in a certain, with a certain view and a certain agenda. So there's nothing new regarding censoring or restriction of information being shared. It's been going on for a very, very long time. The biggest difference that I see is that, with so many people seeing the actual information that's being censored, that is the biggest difference. It's more easily seen, this censoring and the manipulation and the trying to steer people in one direction. So it's quite interesting, regarding all of that, and in a lot of different ways, there is so much information and resources now, regarding, say, healthy, whole living, ways to boost your immune system, self-healing, self-empowerment, all these different things regarding, the power of the physical body to heal itself. And there's all kinds of different topics and so on. And, years ago, even 2 or 3 years ago, there was sort of a lack of information. And that's one of the things that I think that I was driven for the last 10 years to be just sharing information, on a daily basis through Facebook. I got quite a few connections on there. A lot of them are family and friends. They're not necessarily people that I have attended one of my workshops. So it's, the sharing information up to this point for me was because there was a lack of information where, through the media, a lot of people were just getting information through the traditional media on the TV and so on, which is very, again, one-sided. And it's not very open regarding, a lot of different things regarding our natural abilities and our natural healing abilities and so on. So the I feel that that is the main reason why I was sharing so much for so many years, is to getting out the information that people were not getting from the traditional views, the alternative viewpoints. And everything that I've shared, and as some of you might have seen some of my statements and so on Facebook, is, I share information. I don't necessarily pick a side. I don't see things from a side. So when I share information, I share it to assist people in making a choice, in basically making a change. I share it, and then basically people can take of it what aligns with them. If basically, they're wanting to learn, if they're open to, seeing things in a different way, basically the information is there as a choice. Basically, throughout time, a lot of things have been, again, set in agendas, and that's, with traditional TV and so on, there's an agenda basically set up, and that's the reason why the information is continually repeated and shared, and it's so much fear propaganda involved in it. And so the giving people a choice basically is just offsetting, that one, that's that manipulative propaganda, fear propaganda, fear porn, as I'd like to describe it, and giving people the opportunity to see there is a choice from that. There's a choice that we have to basically live, not in a view of constant fear and stress and survival. So that's the main thing that I've shared throughout the years, is basically counterbalancing that, to share as much as I can, to just put it out there. But now I feel like we've almost reached a point of saturation regarding information. The information is out there. If people truly wish to learn and or see a different viewpoint, it is available. Even though a lot of stuff is being censored and or called different things on Facebook and labeled and banned and all kinds of other stuff, if someone truly, especially in the United States, I can't speak for all countries because some countries are more heavily banned and censored than others, but in the United States, if somebody truly wishes to research something, they can usually find it. And there's so many different outlets now that are available that are offering different viewpoints, different sides of information, proof of, say, the manipulation in the media and or the propaganda being shared, and the reasons for that, and all kinds of different things. It's out there. So we've reached that space of saturation. That's what I'm seeing. And in a way, I feel like, for me personally, I'm going to be shifting how I'm going to be sharing from now, say, going forward, sort of shifting up, like how I'm going to be sharing and what I'm going to be sharing. In a way, I sort of see it as shifting gears, going in, say, fifth gear, or overdrive. We've been grinding out information in a certain way to, as I said, offset and just to share, to give people choices. So, when I'm saying shifting gears, in the last week on Facebook, I shared that, I did some research regarding alternatives to Facebook, and I found, the MeWe platform as being a great alternative, in which I set up a profile there. I'm going to write up an article regarding all that, and I'm going to place this video basically at the bottom of that article on MeWe. And one of the biggest things that I see regarding, say the benefit and or say the reason for us to sort of migrate to a platform such as MeWe, is not to say this is not going to happen in a period of weeks. I remember when we were at, mainly using, say, Yahoo for a lot of different things back in the day, and then it took like a year or so to really start using Facebook on a regular basis. It's going to take a little bit of time for the migration, say, to MeWe and some other platforms away from Facebook. Facebook, in a way, is the monopoly right now in a form of our communication. And so, in a way, I see that as, in a way, dependence. A lot, say the majority of my connections that I have with people around the world, say I've met in other workshops and other connections in other, say, Romania and from Vietnam and all kinds of places, I only have those communication and or contacts through Facebook. And it's, in a way, we're sort of dependent on that. And in a way, when we are dependent on something in that way, manipulation is very easy to say our connection there, dependence, So I see that sort of setting up the alternative profiles, our profiles, and say in MeWe, and there's some other profiles if they're available, or platforms, what I mean, to start building our connections on these alternative platforms. Therefore, if the censoring continues through Facebook, and their agenda to, say, restrict, our ability to communicate freely and share, say, useful information to give people choices, we have this other platform such as MeWe to turn to. And the other thing is, in the coming years, things are very well could be continue to be challenging in our collective world as we're going through this transition. So I think building the connections we have and sort of duplicating them on other platforms is in this time, during this challenging time that we're in, I think that it's a good thing to do. Therefore, if anything happens to Facebook and they continue to tighten up or censor or restrict or whatever, so what? We have other ways of communication, and we continue to do to, say, communicate without all the messing around. So that's where my sort of view is regarding all of this. I've been doing a little bit of research. There's finding the alternative to Facebook was fairly easy. MeWe is, I think, in the statement and the information I shared, they were looking to be like 100 million or something by the end of this year. So users. So it's a pretty big platform already. It's got a lot of the same setup as Facebook, fairly easy to set up and use. The thing that I haven't found so far is an alternative to YouTube. Vim, there's a couple main ones out there, but the one that I've said, Vimu or something like that, it's also been doing some banning and censoring and blocking and all kinds of different things on alternative information. So I would say natural information, alternative natural information. So I haven't found a real good, say, alternative to YouTube yet. But at least, starting to migrate, starting to communicate, starting to share more through, say, MeWe, is at least we're moving in a direction of having an alternative, say, way of communication than Facebook. I think you got the point by now regarding what I'm saying with all that. But the biggest thing is that for those it's almost like I could sense within the collective, a lot of people have there's less and less sort of people on a fence. They sort of restricted their. A lot of people have restricted their sort of like become desensitized. They are totally blocking out anything that goes against or goes against their own sort of viewpoints, and they're totally blocking everything else. The openness, or see the and so on is that is these days with the heightened polarities is everything sort of tightening up, and it is quite odd to see, because I have not sensed this or seen this in past years, to where I'm seeing this level of saturation, and so continually just sharing the same words, statements, information over and over. People I'm connected with on Facebook, I think it's a couple thousand or whatever. For those of the people that are actually even able to see my posts, it's sort of like, everybody's sort of gotten the point that or want to see the point. So that's where I'm feeling like it's time to switch gears in some ways. Start sharing some different things. Start sharing some new viewpoints. Sharing new information in different ways. So that's it. That's the main thing with this video, is just to come out and just share a little bit of words regarding what I've been seeing regarding this whole thing regarding the saturation. It's quite a new thing to see. It's quite odd, but it's new. Don't really know exactly what it means for us as a collective. The saturation, I guess, going from the lack of information to an abundance of information. Now everybody either has to take their head out of the sand and look around, or stick, some people are coming out, seeing their head out of the sand, and they're sticking it back in the sand. They don't really want to see. So, again, it's not necessarily, again, I don't want to say this to try to categorize or put anybody in a certain place. We have free will on earth. We have free will. There's no right or wrong. It's a matter of, I see sharing information to give people choices. I honor everyone's free will. So that's it. The main points I wanted to share regarding this. You all have a nice day, evening, night. Till the next one. Cheers, my friends.